computer.
There we go.
There we are.
What up, YouTubers?
Now we share. And now we hit go live. Sure.
The revolution will not be televised. No, I'm just playing.
Shit, we'll be recording it ourselves, man. Nice little picture of downtown Indianapolis for everybody to start their evening. It's not
What
real.
up? What up?
It's actually from a year or so ago, I believe. So.
Oh man.
And now we've lost our music. There we are. We press pause there. Hey, everybody! It is Wednesday night, and that means it is time to hang out with Aaron on the Evan and Aaron show. I'm Aaron. This is Evan. And for a change, you didn't catch us talking about stuff.
It's almost like we were prepared or something, man.
Right. I wouldn't go that far. So, what up, everybody? Glad to have you with us as ever. And yeah, it's a pleasure to see you all. It was a lovely, lovely fall day.
Yeah.
And I think starting off, we'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. Big congratulations on a wonderful career to Carly Lloyd. Played her last game for the U.S. Women's National Team last night. Yes, definitely. And let's see, she had 316 caps, which is second all time, only to Christine Lilly. 134 goals, that puts her third all time, and 64 assists, that puts her fifth all time. Just an amazing, amazing career.
Yep.
And hold on, I feel like for a change, I'm gigantic instead of.
Dude, I just looked this up. And it was amazing. Sporting News had her ranked third all time among women U.S. national team players, behind Christine Lilly and Mia Hamm, which I think, I'm like, what an athlete, what an incredible soccer player. I mean, just pure talent, man.
Yeah,
pure
absolutely. Talent. No other way to put it, for sure. And I can't pay her any better compliment than to say that she really just played the game at such a high level. When you watched her play the game, you didn't say, "Oh, she's pretty good for a woman." You looked at her and said, "This is just one hell of a player." She had all the tools. She came in for a lot of criticism when she was younger, and really turned herself into a phenomenal player. I highly recommend an article she wrote on the Players Tribune as well, where she talked about just kind of overcoming, the mental side of the game. And, I believe she said, this game will eventually break you. It's how you respond to that. How do you recover?
Wow.
And that's, that's not just injuries, although that's the most common thing you think of. But a lot of the time that comes with some mental issues, the ability to say, can I overcome this? Can I come back from this? Can I get to the same level? Am I letting people down? All that stuff. So just a tremendous career, and a big shout out to Carly.
Excellent. Dude, hey, I didn't tell you this, man. Last weekend, I had the little white ball around, man. It was nice. It was nice to get out. Yep, nice to get out and just, I played 9. I played 9, and not last weekend. Sorry. It was, was it a couple weekends ago? Anyway, I've been meaning to tell you this, dude. I shot pretty well. I wasn't.
Now, did you feel some sort of obligation that because Tiger Woods isn't playing golf right now, that there had to be one black man on a golf course in America somewhere?
Hey, it's all about representation, man. You can't be it unless you see it. That's what.
I totally agree. I mean, I am Tiger Woods. I am Tiger Woods.
Right, exactly. It just hit me, dude in his mid to late 40s. Like, look, I want to go out and I just want to play some golf. And brother, it was fun. It was really nice. It was one of those beautiful days that we had like a week or two ago, and it was just so relaxing.
I have enjoyed Topgolf quite a bit, and I don't know that I'm a good enough golfer to say, let's go play a round of golf. I think you'd be just watching me go pick up a ball out of bounds quite a bit. And also because at Topgolf, they just bring you things like food and alcohol and shit. So
that's true.
That's kind of a nice aspect of it. Shout out to
There
Topgolf
you
and
go.
our friend Taylor.
Tay.
So I know at the top of your list, you want to talk a little bit about Trump resurgence and, you know, him saying he's in for 2024, although polls don't seem to show him as the front runner right now. Which DeSantis is just a clone of Donald Trump. But I guess I want to get your thoughts, but I want to throw a question in there. You know, if Trump isn't the front runner for the Republicans, it will still be someone who's promoting Trumpism. I mean, that's what the Republican Party is right now. There's Mitch McConnell, for all of his bluster, really does nothing to dissuade us of that notion. That's the direction they're going. They want to be divisive. They want to only rule their, you know, they only want to govern for their people, although rule, I think, is probably the correct word at the end of the day. Do you think Trump will be the nominee in 2024? And if not, the person attempting to carry his torch, do you think they can be as successful at it as he's been?
Yes and no. Yes, I do think that he's going to be the candidate for 2024. If he's not the candidate for 2024, as long as they are a Trumper, it'll be close. It'll be close. The reason why I say that is that we are, and main reason why I want to talk about this tonight is because we are, as a nation, we are so polarized. We hear about that all the time, but we tend to forget how polarizing Trump is. Trump is so polarizing that even if Trump isn't nominated, Trumpers will vote for Republicans. They will. No one will jump to Democrat at all. No one will take a look at if I ran. You know, if I ran as a Democrat and said, you know what, I want to give everyone a gun and also a Bible, you know, even if I said that, like, it wouldn't matter, because we are so party polarized that they would vote for somebody like a Marco Rubio or a Ted Cruz or a DeSantis. They would vote for whoever has an R behind their name. Yeah, we are. I mean, we are no longer in investigative politics. We no longer do any investigating or anything like that. It is literally, we vote simply by party lines, man.
I definitely see that, and I currently have to admit that I am, simply because of what the Republican Party is representing right now. And it would be fair, I suppose, to someone on the other side to say, well, I don't like what the Democrats represent right now. I don't think they're being intellectually honest. I really don't. I don't know any other way to put that. I mean, we can argue policy all day long. That's fine. But by and large, it's not the Democrats attempting to tell everybody that what they see in front of their face and hear with their own ears, it isn't the truth.
What kills me about all this, man, and you're right. You are absolutely right. It is not the Democrats that are doing this. I won't say exclusively, okay, because there are some things, but Republicans have convinced their base to go against their own physical health, to uphold party standards and party lines. Like, literally going against. We're not talking best interest anymore. We're not talking about ideologies anymore. We're talking about literally life and death for a lot of people. 700. How many so far? 750,000. Have died from COVID. And so it's like, when you start to get that enmeshed into your party, you have to start pointing the finger somewhere. I used to be one of those guys, and I know, I used to be one of those guys. You can't blame this all on Trump.
All right, right.
However, I think there's about 90% of it you can, because the impact that he could have made when he was president to get people to take this seriously. And yet he didn't. And yet,
Right.
he
Okay, I
played
see that
party
point.
lines. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, this was the perfect setup for someone like Trump to come in and do what he did. That's the 10% that I'll put off on the past. I'll put that off on a John Boehner, Jeff Flake for literally flaking out on us and not holding people responsible. I'll put that on the death of McCain, because he was literally the only one pretty much calling BS on everything that Trump was doing. Okay, 10% of that, but 90% falls upon the head of this man. I'm sorry. That's my opinion.
I'd be anxious to know where we'd be purely from a vaccinated and health standpoint in this country had Donald Trump won, because everybody was all excited for the vaccine.
Everybody
that Trump created.
All of us.
Everybody was cool with it until Joe Biden became president. And that's the only thing that changed. The vaccine had already been developed. And for those who really want to know, the vaccine had been in development since before COVID began. They've been researching this type of stuff. If you're curious as to how it happened, it's because this is what these people do. This is what the World Health Organization does. This is what the CDC does. This is what so many lab groups around the world do, is they take these diseases, these infections, and they study them. And they attempt to see where they can possibly go. They model them. And you know what? I read a thing in Vanity Fair today that says, maybe some level of, they hesitated to call it, what is it? Gain of something. I can't remember, but it's basically a way of taking a low level virus and making it more, I guess, either communicable or virulent, to see how humans would handle it in order to prepare for it. Now they very staunchly said, that their research didn't contribute to this, but it undermines the National Institute of Health and Fauci a little bit when they say we're not funding anything like that, when it turns out they're funding something not quite that bad, but kind of close. It's called gain of function. And it is when, and I guess the cutoff is it 10 times more, I don't know, communicable, toxic, virulent. I don't know exactly what the measure is. I'm not exactly a scientist. Go look it up. I'm here to start the conversation, folks. Can't do it all for you.
Right. Do your own research, y'all. Do your own research.
Well, I mean, I encourage people to
not research,
understand things more. But I am tired of hearing that phrase, and I've personally used it myself. But I think what people mean is I went and watched a couple videos and came, that supported a belief I already held, right? But so we do have a situation where, getting back to where we were, I think, had Donald Trump won the election, and by the way, he lost, in case you're still wondering.
There you go.
If he had won the election, the only positive, I think, from it would have been that a lot more people would have taken this vaccine and a lot fewer people would have died. Now, the problem is, would we have gotten to that point? Because before we got the vaccine, we had mask mandates and shutdowns and things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
And, that wasn't popular.
No, it wasn't popular, but it worked.
Yeah. But I mean, it seems so long ago now, but I mean, the mask mandates and stuff were under Trump. That did begin under him. And, I know Birx came out today and said that, he just wouldn't listen to her recommendations, and therefore she had to change her approach. And I, you know, pros and cons to that. You know, while I believe her, I feel like at some point as a doctor, you've got to say, I've made a lot of recommendations and we're not following it, and I can't stand out here and lie anymore. Somehow Fauci, you know, and Birx managed to stay outside Trump's ability to get rid of him. But, you know, by and large, you know, they were following at least some part of the playbook. And, you know, if he could have been convinced, hey, continue these mandates, these things until, which wouldn't have happened, you know, there he was clamoring for the economy to open up and all that jazz. But maybe we'd be nowhere near 700,000.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. You know, it was a level of delusion that it's still, it'll be written about for centuries, as this last presidency is remembered. But it's interesting to me, to just see and to feel, and I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to upset anyone, but I almost feel the same undercurrent that I felt and ignored in 2016. I almost feel like, you know, there are people just waiting, like just literally anticipating next year, to really come and to you know, make a strong appearance and try and take back either the House or the Senate, because both of them are the House is more fragile than it was a year ago. You know, we still control it, but we lost a few seats. The Senate is very fragile, hanging on by a thread. And the fact is, we can't get anything done because we have two senators who won't allow anything to get done.
Yeah.
And so I see this setting up in 2022 as, I mean, just Trump being behind the curtain, just, you know, orchestrating all this, and then coming out and saying, see, they couldn't get anything done. Guess who can?
Well,
we
need to primary the hell out of Sinema and Manchin.
Who do you? Okay. I thought about that, but remember, this is West Virginia we're talking about. What other face do you get in front of West Virginians that they've seen for years that's a Democrat?
I don't care.
I know, I get that, but
who was Barack Obama in before 2004?
Well, yeah, but Illinois and West Virginia. I mean, you know, it's apples and sisters and brothers. I mean, you know, you can't compare. You can't compare those two, man, because it's just it's so tenuous. And the problem is that both of them know that they've got the Democratic Party by the balls. They've got them, man. And I'm telling you, it is going to.
Then what's the difference? What's the difference what's the difference if we primary both of them and it backfires? What's the difference? They don't they don't vote as Democrats right now. They don't give us what we need. So what's it matter if we lose those two seats? I think they're not voting with us.
Well, no, they're not voting with us. You're right. But at least right now, what we can do is we can at least be able to negotiate and bring stuff down a little bit, and they be okay. We're not going to be able to do that if we lose, if we have Republicans in the seats. We're just not going to be able to do it. So, I mean, it's a matter of what do we want? You know, what do we want?
Fair enough.
Or, you know, it sucks either way, Aaron. And literally, man, I agree with you. I really do. I'm like, I'd love to get them out of there, but I'd love to get them out of there if we had shoe-ins. Yeah. And we don't have that. We don't have that in those states.
Well, let me pivot. Let me pivot here and say, we have learned this week that planners of the 1/6 insurrection met with members of the GOP Congress members. I mean, if that's proven true, that's treason. I mean, they should at a minimum lose their seats, right, and at most, I guess, be hung from a yardarm. I mean,
that would be cool. I would like that.
No, I mean, I don't know if that is, I'm not advocating for anything until there's real, you go to court. But we've got two people who were involved in, attempting to overthrow the Capitol. And they're saying, we met with these people. We met with them several times. We met with them back to back to back to back. I can tell you who was in the meeting. I can tell you what we talked about. That's pretty damning. And while we've seen very, very little, accountability for what has gone on in the last 5 years, I mean, if learning that isn't some sort of catalyst for some extreme change, then I don't think it fucking matters who wins the next election.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I really do. I hear you. And I take that in consideration. I'm trying to find this picture, dude, that I saw on Twitter, and it was hilarious because it had all the the GOP cronies, like all of them.
Look for it. I'll be right back.
Okay. And what's interesting about this picture is that this picture has all of them lined up together, and they're all doing this and giving it that and all that stuff. And here's what depresses me, guys, is that if we could do that, as a cooperative Senate, as a cooperative House, we get together and say, you know what, enough of this. Let's just keep these people to the back and keep them to the side. It would solve a lot of issues in America, but it just seems like, and once again, one party is unwilling to hold their few crazies in check. And for me, I am tired of people talking about AOC. I am tired of people talking about Ilhan. The squad has been pretty, in line, in silent. They've spoken up a little bit. The Bernie Bros have spoken up a little bit, but for the majority of the time, they have been representatives of their constituency. Yeah. And the fact is that these few people who choose to be representative of, Trump land, they need to be cut off and put to the side. But Kevin McCarthy refuses to do that because he's so, and we know this, they're so fearful of Trump. I don't see any way out of this, other than to really get ready for 2022 and try and get something done now. Because if we don't get anything done now, we're probably going to lose someone like Liz Cheney. I don't think she gets through 2022. I think that they primary her out. And I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems a bad direction. My question is, I feel like, encouraging your voters to do things that get them killed, is probably not a great tactic. And I think they're losing people. I do. I think for all the clamor, I think that there's going to be a lot more people staying home next time. Anything can happen, but I just think there's going to be a lot of people who look at it and go, well, I'm not a Democrat, so I can't vote for a Democrat. Nice try, guys, but I'm not gonna. But I also can't vote for this Marjorie Taylor, Boebert, Green, Cawthorn, just nonsense. I mean, it's just, you can say, I believe in trickle-down economics and I believe in lower taxes on the wealthy and all this stuff. Yeah, that's fine. But that's not what we're talking about.
Right.
You're saying, I'm okay with somebody slandering people on the floor of the House. I'm okay with encouraging violence. I'm okay going down these nonsensical paths, this QAnon stuff. Like, at what point does that go away? How many times does somebody have to say, hey, the world's coming to an end, give me all your money? Mm-hmm. And then it doesn't happen. Oh, well, you know what? We raised enough money. We're kicking that down the road. Oh, you know what? World's coming to an end. Everybody take this pill. I mean, at some point in time, you run out of believers, don't you?
I would think so. I would think so. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
evangelicalism has just been bastardized. I mean, it kind of always was that way. It's what it was designed to be, but it's become its own worst thing, right? It has like metastasized into
that's a good word.
The perfect form of cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that being said, we've come to halftime in our show, and this is a time where each and every one of us, including you, grab a shot of whatever your favorite beverage may be, whiskey, tequila, and we shout one out for somebody who is deserving of a shout out. I thought long and hard about this, Aaron, and I am going to I'm going to dedicate this shot to my dad. I'm dedicated to Bill Casey. Bill Casey, just solid dude, man. Just I mean, yeah, he's my dad, but he's a good man. He's a solid dude I want to, hang out with and chat with and just kind of be like, he's taught me a lot, and most of it's bullshit, but a lot of it stuck. So that's a good thing.
Right on.
But Dad, love you, bud. And this one's for you. So Aaron, what you got, man?
I want to say a shout out to my brother-in-law. He's never, ever, ever going to watch an episode of this show, and he would probably throw his laptop the second he heard much what we had to say. But he's not doing well, and he's an incredibly good dude. He's an absolute tremendous father and husband, and I know he's a good person. We just don't see eye to eye politically. We do have some pretty good discussions. He's a smart dude. Just wish he'd watched a little less Fox and OAN probably, but Michael, I hope you recover quickly, and look forward to seeing you at the holidays. So to Bill, to Mike, sláinte.
Plenty. Oh my God. Look, I've got to stop using these. Like, they're way too big, dude.
Is that a mushroom?
It's Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't.
Dice.
You should.
Dice.
Okay, it's dice. Yeah, I could. All I could see was like the red and white dots. So I was like,
you're like, wait, is that a shroom, dude? Damn. Whew, that's a lot. Okay, so to quote one of my favorite movies, Harlem Nights, the champ walks in to Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy's nightclub, and Eddie Murphy says, "Hey, champ, what do you got to say about the fight?" He goes, "Don't take this ass whooping personally." That's what he said. There were some ass whoopings in the EPL this weekend, and I'm shocked. I thought I saw everything when Chelsea went 7-0. I know it's Norwich. Goal differential. It's sad. Part of me is sad because it's so deflating for a team, and it's becoming like college football almost, where it's like you gotta just keep the pressure on. And I thought I'd seen it all for Saturday, brother. I texted Aaron because I was like literally worried about him, because what, in your opinion, man, what happened? What happened to Man U? I did not see the match. I saw the final score.
First off, it's funny that you use that quote, because when people talk about issues like this and say, how does this happen? Well, when heavyweights getting in the ring with each other, they throw big punches, and occasionally somebody gets knocked the fuck out, and it's not,
that's true.
Look,
that is true.
Nobody had it in the cards for Mike Tyson to get knocked out, right? Nobody saw that coming.
Good point.
The difference is everybody saw this one coming. This was in the cards for a while. Now 5-0, not necessarily, but definitely an exposure. You obviously do not have the players for the system you're trying to play, or you're playing the wrong system. But what we saw on Sunday was that Liverpool have an incredibly solid attack. The press is tremendous. And Mo Salah is probably the on-form player in the world right now. The guy's mad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely is. And big ups to him. He just became the highest scoring African player in the EPL. Just overtook Didier Drogba.
Drogba.
Yeah, with a hat trick. Very nice. And that, that's all I can say. Props to Liverpool. It hurts because obviously as a United fan, Liverpool arch rival and all that shit. But the factor of the matter is it has really exposed some things, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes, shining a light on things really helps to kind of catalyze what needs to be done. Does what needs to be done, does that mean it's firing Ole? I'm not sure yet.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was like, is this Ole's fault, or is this just coming in super flat? And like you said, getting Buster Douglas.
Well, it's not one thing. It's all of those things. I do think Ole has probably a little bit of tactical naivete. That's not necessarily a reason to let him go, but it could be a reason to let him go if he can't sort it out. I think that United simply don't have the players for the system that they want to play, which begs the question, why not change the system? If you're going to play a 4-2-3-1 because you need two guys to protect your back four, well, you need two guys to do that. And McTominay and Fred don't do that very well. And then, Harry Maguire is a good center back. He's a good center back. But his best attributes are things that are kind of luxuries. He's one of the best long distance passing players out of the back in the world. Statistics prove it. He wins his headers. He dribbles out of the back well. But he's a terrible one-on-one defender. He gets dragged out of position far too much. He is literally, the Titanic sank faster than Harry Maguire can run. He's just slow. He's just absolutely slow. And because of that, but when you're center back, your captain gets dragged out of position like that, you look at that, you look at that third Salah goal, and everybody's like, what's Luke Shaw doing? Well, Luke Shaw's closing down the space that Harry Maguire left behind. And now, should Luke Shaw have stayed with his man and gambled less? Yeah, he should have. But he saw the space on the field that got left open, and his natural response was, I'm a defender. I need to close that gap. Never mind the fact that I just left the most clinical striker on the planet alone, but what have you. These things happen. The next 3 games are going to be huge. It's Spurs away, which is very winnable. They've not played well in their recent games.
Tottenham doesn't look well.
Atalanta away is going to be tricky because of the way we came back on them last week. And that was a miracle of a game, but that also kind of showed some of the problems. We've got that much attacking talent. And then there's City at home. And that, again, those first 2 games, we could win them. And then if City comes to Old Trafford and beats us 5-0, then they're irrelevant. And it demonstrates the fact that we haven't figured anything out. But I want to say, in Ole's defense, Ole got Sancho and Varane just before the season began. So they didn't have a lot of time to get used to the system, to say, right, here's exactly what we're going to do. And then we got the strangest gift of all dropped in our lap. Ole was not planning to have Cristiano Ronaldo. And when you get an offer to take Cristiano Ronaldo, you take him. That alters the system and style of play that they were going to have. Now, what's also worrying is we don't have an established style of play. I do think Ronaldo has changed what the plan was, but there doesn't seem to be another plan. There aren't patterns of play. When you watch, we said this before, when you watch Liverpool play, when you watch City, when you watch Chelsea play, you know what's going to happen. You know how Chelsea's going to build up. You know how City's going to build up. You know what's going on. You can almost draw it up yourself. When United plays, I watch them week in and week out, and I can't tell you what the plan is.
Well, that's what I want to bring up what Io said in chat. He says it begs the question: what is the system.
Right.
And I think that's the main question, man. I mean, the matches I've seen Man U play this year, it's almost you're anticipating Ronaldo to just be Ronaldo and just take over and do what he does best. Problem is, you have all kinds of talent on that team that this guy he has to work with. I just don't think the EPL. I do not think the EPL obviously is the league that one person, even Cristiano Ronaldo, it's not the league that one person can come in and totally take over. Now I'm not saying that he can't do that.
Right.
But it's a lot less likely in this league at this time with the amount of talent that each team has. I don't see that. So you're right. I think there's a feeling out process that still is taking place. And the fact is, it is literally just October.
Yeah. I think it's
just October.
I think it would be a panic move to get rid of Ole at this point, unless he's truly lost the locker room. And I don't buy a lot of, that kind of speculation, those types of articles, because players always gripe about managers. It's the guy who's making you run, right?
Yeah.
I don't think United have down tools just yet, but what I said about the United States national team, I think applies here. Both teams need to figure out a system that they could win with, regardless of whether Christian Pulisic or Cristiano Ronaldo are on the field.
Yeah.
Respectively, because
Agreed.
You know what they can do. You know absolutely what they can do, and you can kind of move them around a little bit, and they'll help your success. Sure. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So Manchester United need to stop leaking goals and manage to create opportunities for a striker. And then when you realize that striker is Cristiano Ronaldo or Edinson Cavani or Marcus Rashford or Marcus Greenwood or Mason Greenwood, goals will come. But those two things didn't happen. I mean, I gotta give credit. There was a great meme, and it was, Harry Maguire with his hand out, and it said, "Hey, can we get a new ball?" And then the ref in the next pane says, "Why? What's wrong with this one?" And the third pane is him going, "Well, Liverpool are playing with it." I mean, at no point in time in that game did Manchester United establish any sort of possession game, and that team has too much talent to get swept aside the way they did. Yeah. And look, sometimes it happens, and sometimes it happens even when you're good. I mean, United won the league in, I want to say 98, 99, something like that.
Yeah.
And got beat 6-1 by Chelsea. I mean, you can suffer a bad loss and recover from it. I mean,
sure,
look at last year. United got played off the pitch early in the season by Spurs, and then
came back,
turned around, finished second in the league, and made the Spurs look silly. So, in a vacuum, losing 5-0 to Liverpool at home is only the embarrassment of losing to Liverpool at home, right? It's a bad day at the office.
Yes.
The question now is, where do you go?
Yeah.
And the one thing I have heard that I did not like was that Fergie showed up at practice. Hey, man, the more I think about it, if unless Ole explicitly said, it was still 5 goals, what's 6-1 difference from 5-0? Unless Ole explicitly said, "Hey, Gaffer, I want you to come in and talk to the boys, give them a pep talk, let them know that I've invited you in and we're going to talk tactics and stuff like that," or what have you, that'd be one way. But if Fergie just showed up and he's talking to the board, he's talking to Ole, it looks like Daddy came to look after him,
Yeah. Yeah.
and everybody's kind of got this Ole's too nice kind of vibe. But
Well,
I want
it's
to
funny.
remind everybody that Ole's nickname when he played was the baby-faced assassin. And I have a feeling he'd choose some ass behind closed doors.
I know he probably did, man. I know he probably did. I just want to get to these comments that Io said. Io said, first he said, I will say the Glazers ain't going anywhere. So at this point, get managers that can win in spite of them, which means United would probably change managers as often as Chelsea does. But I think that's what it's going to have to be. He made a little side comment here. For all intents and purposes, United is can't even say it. United now is basically the Cowboys under Jason Garrett. Wow.
I don't actually understand that comment.
It
talented players under a bad coach. Is that the implication?
Probably. Okay. I think talented players, and once again, I don't think Ole's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think I'm going to choose to look at this, even as a Chelsea fan. I'm choosing to look at this as a bad day in the office. I'm choosing to look at this as, you know what? It was one of those things to where it's like, damn it, we got our asses handed to us. So let's pick ourselves off the mat. I still don't want to fight Mike Tyson.
Right.
No matter how old he is, I don't want to fight the guy.
Unless you write it into the contract that you're not allowed to knock each other out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so I think that this is, I really do. I hope that this is a blip. Because man, if this is any indication that this system isn't working, I think Io, I think you are right. That Ole, his time, this is one of those losses where it's like an Arteta loss. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, what the hell just happened?
I'm not pretending it's not in the cards. And the consensus is that Antonio Conte would come in, and I have no doubt Antonio Conte would implement some things and there would be success. The question is, and I'm legitimately asking you and asking Io as Chelsea fans, that's exactly where you guys are. You have an owner who does not have any patience and is quite willing to change managers every 2-3 seasons in pursuit of trophies. And sometimes you win them and sometimes you don't. You are a competitive side. There's no question about that. But are you happy as a fan? Wouldn't you rather see a system where, okay, for 3 years, maybe we struggle, but then for the next 7, we're fighting for every trophy. We've created something. We've built something. Maybe the game is not that anymore. Maybe we're past it. Although, I mean, explain to me Klopp, explain to me Pep Guardiola, because they've now been there 5, 6, 7 years now. So
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, we had that in Mourinho. We had that.
I can't predict that Ole is necessarily going to go on to be that guy, but I'm kind of sick of changing managers in pursuit of this. I mean, we knew Jose Mourinho was not going to stick around at Manchester United for 25 years.
Sure. But man, look at it. I mean, here's the thing. There's a reason why Liverpool was able to rise to the occasion and play like they did. It's because Jurgen Klopp has been there and has consistently implemented his style and has over the years. And literally, when you got Mo Salah, when you put all those guys together, it creates something very special, and it creates a team that's able to rise to the occasion and put a 5 spot on a great team, on one of the Premier League challenging, championship challenging teams.
Yeah,
you don't do that if you change managers every 2 or 3 years. Right. You can't.
I agree.
You can't.
And I think that's what I'm getting at is I've been frustrated. I've been frustrated for 8 years now. But we've also had some success, and I have been content when I've believed we're building towards something. But once it falls apart. I mean, here's the difference. Ole doesn't leave a dumpster fire in his wake the way Jose Mourinho did. You know, Ole leaves some players behind that are disgruntled. You know, if I'm Donny Van de Beek, why do I come to Manchester United? Right? You know, I'm an outstanding player for a very technical European club in Ajax, and I leave them to go to a bigger club, and I get no look. Either Donny sucks, which I somehow doubt, or not enough has been done to let him know how he needs to fit into this system. Where part of the problem is I don't think he does fit into this system. He's an actual box-to-box midfielder, so being in a 4-2-3-1 doesn't really suit him. I feel like we could be playing a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 or even a 3-4-3, which, you know, the whole you know, that shit shouldn't matter. It's all about starting positions and patterns of play and where you move the ball to. And the fact of the matter is we don't seem to be very good at that, despite having some players that, I mean, Paul Pogba captained a World Cup team. Bruno Fernandes and Cristiano Ronaldo are European champions. I mean, Harry Maguire is a World Cup finalist. Rafael Varane has how many medals? Luke Shaw scored a goal in the World Cup final or European final. We don't have shitty players.
No.
But, you know, look at Leeds 2003, 2004, I think it was. You can have all the players that you want, and if you can't get it right, it costs you. But I would like to say this in defense of Manchester United. Bayern Munich lost 5-0 today.
They did. I saw that. And it was Gladbach, right? Gladbach.
Yes. It was definitely a lower level team. And I can say this. Bayern didn't exactly put out a weak squad. Like, you look at that lineup, and that's a normal team sheet for them. Yeah. City lost today on penalties to West Ham in the League Cup. So their hold on one of the cups, domestic cups, is gone. And Barcelona's lost how many games this season?
They did not look good today, man. They did not look good.
I can tell you, if Ole gets fired, a manager I don't want is Ronald Koeman.
Well, I want to make a comparison real quick before we go to the Hey Aaron segment. And there are two different reasons, but between Man U and the Cleveland Browns. You said it. No. Don't give me that look. You said, I saw your face. You were like, but you said it. You were like, you know what? With Leeds back in 4 and 5, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you can't put it together, it doesn't matter. We have so many injuries right now. So many injuries, dude. It's horrible.
Well, I wish United had that as an excuse, but the fact of the matter is, I mean, Rafael Varane is really the only significant player loss. But if he's back healthy, here's what I don't understand. You've got Harry Maguire, Rafael Varane, and Victor Lindelof. 3 very, very competent center backs. Play 3 at the back. You've got Luke Shaw, who spends half the game beyond midfield anyway, so play him as your wing back.
Yep.
Probably going to have to upgrade Wan-Bissaka. Delote isn't good enough. But now every other spot makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just do what I think you should do. And that is, trade Luke Shaw for Lewandowski. Anyway, you know what? Funny man. You and Io can take this one. The easiest way to make Manchester United dangerous and scare the shit out of you is give you about 50 million pounds and take Conte. No way.
You got a Spaniard on the bench you're not using. I'd take him.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the Hey Aaron segment, and this is the last one for the month of October, my friend. And so we are going out with a bang tonight.
It is the Halloween edition.
It's a Halloween edition where you are going to have to guess what Halloween movie I am describing.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Since I'm terrible at horror movies, this is gonna suck.
Yeah, no. This is what you're going to have to do. So if you are following along at home, ladies and gentle people, you are more than welcome to type in what you think I'm describing. So without any further ado, we are playing Name That Horror Movie. All right, here we go.
Wait.
Yep. What?
We're playing Name That Horror Movie. I might have a chance here.
Horror. Horror. Yeah. No, not that kind of movie. No.
Thought this was just gonna
Dolly Parton.
This is gonna be Pornhub. Name that Pornhub video.
Name that. Wow. Anyway,
why is there so much stepsister fucking?
I think there are 3 answers to each of these, and I will give you. And the nice thing is, it's multiple choice. It is the professor's hated mode of finding out if you're competent or not. But my friend, you get lucky tonight. Here we go. All right. A troubled teen is shunned by her peers and tormented by her zealous religious mother.
Carrie.
Everything seems to be go. Oh, damn, girl. Everything seems to be going well until a cruel prank and some violent telekinetic powers make an unforgettable prom night. That would be Harry. Good job, man. Damn. What'd you think about that movie?
That movie's scary as fuck, actually, because I'm into more psychological, like I said last week. I think what happens in your brain is far scarier than any type of real life gore. Although I gotta be honest, the notion of being sewed mouth to ass to somebody is pretty sickening.
Oh my God. Oh my God, dude.
I think Carrie is kind of, especially for the time period it came out, kind of keeps you closer to the line of what's going, it is a bit more psychological. Yes, it's there's some blood and gore and stuff like that. But I think by and large, it's really about what you think she's had to endure and what breaks a person,
Yeah.
I mean, this movie's a gigantic metaphor. It really is.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
This was Jeremy before Jeremy,
Ooh.
Oh yeah. Well, we should just end.
I'm done, dude.
Right.
I got to think about that for a while.
Right.
Holy crap.
Yep.
A masked killer is picking off teens one by one, but these teens grew up watching horror movies, so they know all the tropes and cliches and use them to predict the killer's next move. Not that it helps them much. Is it Last House on the Left, Scream, or Silent Night, Deadly Night?
It's Scream. I forgot this was supposed to be multiple choice. By the way, what were the other 2 options for Carrie?
Deadly Friend and Monkey Shines, which I'm like, seriously, whatever.
I've never seen either of those. Monkey Shines was a Stephen King, though, wasn't it?
I don't know. I've never seen it, dude. Never seen it. Never heard of it.
The only time I've ever heard someone actually use the phrase Monkey Shines is in the underground bar scene in Inglourious Bastards.
Oh man, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out again.
The Obersturmfuhrer says, "I grow tired of these monkey shines."
Oh, that's well done too, my friend. That is a great accent, brother. But yes,
when in Germany, Germany,
Scream is the thing.
Yes.
Here we go.
They're making a new Scream, by the way.
I saw that. Newlyweds move into an apartment where the pregnant wife is tormented by terrifying dreams. She soon learns everyone in her life is part of a satanic cult, manipulating her and her unborn child. Is it The Exorcist, The Omen, or Rosemary's Baby?
Rosemary Clooney's Baby.
Yes. Oh my gosh, dude. I remember seeing this movie for the first time and being like, that's the first time I really thought, like, white people, man, are just, y'all dabble in some stuff, man. Like, I don't know. It's beyond me. I don't know.
You mean the picnic does not entail a whole bunch of people gathering around in a circle and having really awkward group sex?
No, because you got your auntie and your grandma there. You can't. No, you can't do
Hi,
that.
Auntie.
Can't do that. No, can't do that. Anyway, um, it is funny too because most of these movies, I always sit there and think, I'm like, man, white people are brave, man. Y'all are like, you're inquisitive, like you're brave, and it's like,
I wouldn't go up them stairs.
I know, hell no. Every horror movie, if they were casted in black by black people, be 5 minutes long.
I was gonna say, nope, out of here.
Like,
why can't we get in the moving car?
Deuces. Bye. Next one. Oh my God. I can't even believe I'm going to read this out loud. A rogue great white shark is devouring swimmers, but the mayor won't close the beach because it's tourist season. Now it's up to the police chief, a scientist, and a grizzled shark hunter to end the shark's reign of terror. Is it Finding Nemo? Oh, I just made that one up. Sharknado. It came from beneath the sea, or Jaws.
It's Ron DeSantis's mask policy.
Yes. Oh man.
Yeah.
This is I remember the line that the old guy sang, and I looked back at my dad and said, "What?" He was singing that old song that I don't even know if I should say it or not. I'm not going to say it, but it's talking about swimming with women, and yes. And
here's to swimming with bow-legged women.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, "What does he mean by that, Dad?" And he's like, "Don't worry about it. Just keep watching the movie." Anyway, yeah, a young woman enrolls at a dance academy, but is plagued by bizarre events and disappearances. Events spiral out of control when she discovers the school is run by a coven of witches. Is it Night of the Demon, Suspiria, or I Spit on Your Grave?
Suspiria, which is a remake.
Ah, very good. Very good. I've never seen this movie. Never seen it.
You know what? I had never seen it either. And then I was down at Kuma's Corner before the Crystal Method show a few weeks back with Balake, and it was what was on TV behind the bar. It's got
really,
it's got Tilda Swinton and I can't think who the young girl is. It's creepy as shit though.
I mean, Ida says that ain't bravery, that's white privilege.
Shit, man, they ain't even smart enough to take advantage of their white privilege. There's some dumb motherfuckers like, hey, let's go walk in the woods. Also,
all right, here we go.
All that era of horror movie is shaming. Anybody who takes their clothes off early in the movie, you're dead. If you see somebody's boobs, they're dead. Man takes his shirt off, woman takes his shirt off. Yeah.
Or yeah. We're done. We're done.
Horror movies have diverse casting for about 27 minutes.
Yes. So here's
what
the next
happened to
one.
Randall? Where the fuck Randall go?
Like, wait, where's he at? He's a cool ass.
Shouldn't have been smoking that weed.
Here we go. I'm gonna attempt to read it in my movie trailer voice. Here we go.
Right on. In a world.
A family moves into a nice suburban house, but inexplicable events culminate in their young daughter vanishing. Her voice calling out from the TV. They discover the house was built on a cemetery and flee to a hotel. Is it House, Poltergeist, or Hell House?
As I called it as a child, it's Poltergeist.
Very good.
Also, Poltergeist is a phenomenal, in your head kind of film. Like,
oh my
holy shit, what's she experiencing while she's in this place?
Oh,
how does this happen?
Dude, I literally, this movie.
They only moved the headstones.
Yes. Oh.
Also, the little old doctor is creepy as fuck too.
Crossover children, all are welcome. Wait. Not all are welcome. Okay. It's like, let's keep those people somewhere else. All right.
This house is clean.
It's clean. All right. I'm going to give you a huge hint. No, I'm not. Nope. I'm just going to read it. A writer brings his family to a hotel in the mountains where they will be the caretakers and sole occupants for the winter. Forces inside the hotel and the writer's mind gradually drive him insane. Then he commits the ultimate offense against his wife and son with an axe. Is it The Shining, The Ninth Gate, or The Dark Half?
Here's Johnny.
Yep.
The Shining. It's a phenomenal film, and there are people who are obsessed with it in a weird way. Like Kubrick fans think it holds like a lot of like crazy hidden meaning.
Really?
Yeah, there's a documentary about it. There's another movie that's essentially based on that concept. And a friend of mine was just on vacation and visited that hotel.
See, this is why. Okay. I get what you're saying, but man, I'm telling you, like, white folks go and visit these places where this shit happens. That's the thing. I'm like, okay, yeah, this was a movie, but I'm like, it's amazing.
No one was shocked by it.
I mean, I'm trying to be as nice as I can.
A white writer decided it was going to be a good idea to stay the winter at a hotel in Colorado so he could write his book. I tell you, the ending of that movie with him in the picture, spoiler alert, the ending of that movie with him in the picture is fucking awesome. It really is. I mean, it's, again, there's a decent amount of gore, but quite a lot of psychological horror. Mm-hmm. And Scatman Crothers, why you out in the snowcat?
Once again. Anyway, last one. Okay, I'm just going to say this one for me. Next to I think the Saw trilogy, quadrilogy, whatever.
Dude, there's 9 of them.
Okay, Neuf-ilogy, I guess if you're French. Anyway, this one messed me up. This movie really messed me up. A man summons other dimensional creatures by solving a puzzle box. They kill him, but his former lover commits several murders so the victim's blood can bring the man back to life. The man's niece battles him and the creatures, which are called Cenobites. Is it Nightbreed, Blade, or Hellraiser?
I love Cenobites. You stop in the mall and you get a nice warm one, right? And you eat it, and then you walk down to merry-go-round and you buy an oversized shirt.
I'm gonna have nightmares. I'm gonna have nightmares.
You get you a cross colors pair of jeans. Right?
Benetton. Colors de Benetton.
Dude, I love Benetton when we went to Canada. What are my options? What are my options again?
Nightbreed, Blade, or Hellraiser? Wow. Okay, you don't know this one.
Wait, can I get the description again? Because all of a sudden I'm really confused.
A man summons other dimensional creatures by solving a puzzle box. They kill him, but his former lover commits several murders so the victim's blood can bring the man back to life, which was an incredibly gross scene. The man's niece battles him and the creatures, which are called Cenobites. Would you like a hint?
It's got to be Nightbreed.
No. 'Tis not, my friend.
Then it's Blade.
No.
Is Hell? Oh, Hellraiser. Oh my God.
Hellraiser.
You know what the problem with that was? You said Hellraiser, and my brain said Hellboy. Now that I hear that out loud, you're absolutely right. Of course you are. But
Pinhead, man.
I was like, none of these things. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Wait a minute, what? Like, I haven't seen Nightbreed, but I didn't think that's what it's about. Blade is vampires, and Hellboy is about a dude who's the son of the devil. Like, what the fuck?
You're like, wait,
and also didn't think that was really a horror movie.
Right. You're like, wait a minute. Are you that much of a baby, Evan, that you're scared of Hellboy? Yeah. No, I'm not scared of Hellboy.
So
I'm
yeah,
scared of
Hellraiser
Pinhead.
is creepy. Hellraiser is
Oh,
creepy.
dude, like
Yeah.
I think I would still be up if I watched that movie like at nighttime. I would still probably have to, yeah, I'd have to stay up and watch something stupid like Dumb and
Now,
Dumber.
I gotta say, I was a little kid and I saw a movie in the movie theater, and I legit had nightmares that night and was scared shitless. The end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they open the ark.
The face melting and the whole,
Well,
oh
they
God.
attack them and they burn everybody to death, and the face melting. Like, I was probably like 7 years old. That scared the living shit out of me.
Oh,
I
and the
legit,
dude's like, oh,
yeah,
and it's
I
like,
legit.
oh,
Which,
geez.
I mean, Tote was supposed to die. I mean, that motherfucker was evil, but still.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that is the conclusion of October. Aaron, it's the end of October, brother. I mean, we're heading into Thanksgiving now.
Gobble, gobble.
And I'm going to give an early Thanksgiving. Thanks to you, thanks to our audience. We are now moving into my second favorite part of the show, man. It's the Aaron taking us out segment. Aaron, brother, I love you, man. Another really great show. Love talking to you. What do you have for us tonight to send us out with?
I've been on a positive tip, gonna stick with that positive tip. It's Halloween, go out, have some fun, be safe, obviously look after one another. It's getting toward the end of the year, time for Thanksgiving and all that jazz. So I'll just say, there's a lot of division. And I think it behooves us all to, it's easy to look across. We spend a lot of time saying, hey, Republicans are the ones doing this. And I don't take that back. I think the majority of the division comes from that side, but it would be ridiculous to not acknowledge what people I support do. And maybe, I don't think microaggression is the right word, perhaps, but you can see where I'm going. Like, how on a microscopic level am I contributing to this? What can I do? I probably do put more negativity out in the world than I even realize. So that's what I'll say is, have a little introspection, do a little research on yourself, and say, did I need to say or do that? And I meant to say this early in the show, and this gives me an opportunity. Last week, I flippantly kind of repeated a well-known internet trope rumor about Jamie Lee Curtis. And while I said it jokingly, and it was meant to just be kind of casual, and it did spark the comment that she's very much a supporter of transgender rights in her offspring. But if that type of comment came across wrong, I certainly didn't mean it, and I have to own that. And I think that's just what we all need to do is say, reflect on it. And if you think you might have hurt somebody, a casual, hey, I can do better. Didn't mean it. Because that's how we get through this. I do think there are some bad actors out there, but by and large, it's not us everyday people. Us everyday people, like I said, my brother-in-law is not a bad guy. We just don't share a political ideology, but there's not a huge difference about how each of us go about our lives. We both get up, go to work, do what we think is best, and look after our loved ones. And I think if more of us could acknowledge that and acknowledge both how we could be closer and what we could do to be less divisive, would go a long way. So that's my outro this week. Don't beat yourself up. Just say, what can we do better? Because if everybody did one thing each day that they could do a little bit better, a little bit nicer, said thank you, we're a little bit nicer to the person at the front desk, goes a long way. So, Evan, I love you, my brother.
Love you, man.
Black people vote.
Black people vote.